Hi, everybody. Welcome to the St. Pete Soul podcast. I'm your host, Brittany Renew. Really glad that you're with us today. And I am excited to have the founder of Valhalla Resale, Danielle Ferrari, with us today. Hi, Danielle.
Hi, thanks for having me.
Yeah, so Danielle started Valhalla Resale out of her passion for sustainability in the fashion world. And she does have two locations in Tampa and St. Pete. And, Valhalla has a clothing rental membership, as well as you can buy and sell clothes directly in the store and personal styling that's offered. So I'm excited to talk to you, Danielle, and learn more about your passion.
Sure.
And before I forget, we're going to be doing a giveaway today. So everybody, make sure that you listen all the way to the end to hear details for the giveaway and how you can enter. So there we go. Cool. So Danielle, just kind of start off a little bit about you and your background.
Yeah, so I had never worked in any kind of fashion before. I had worked in retail, but never fashion. So when I realized it was time to leave my previous life, which was in heavy civil construction, which is completely different than retail.
Yeah.
I decided at the time I had a really intense passion, and I still do, for the share economy and how it can really change the world if we change the way we consume. So basically, the share economy is where instead of having each individual person owning something in order to consume it, we share our resources, and not every single person has to own every single item that they intend to consume. At the time, my big idea was for a clothing, or not clothing, it wasn't at all about clothing, it was about tools. And that sort of like a peer-to-peer site where I have like a blender that I use regularly, but my neighbor maybe needs a blender and they could hook up with me and use it for their one recipe that they rarely cook. So they wouldn't have to go out and buy a blender specifically to make this one dish. So that was the idea. I started researching it. I really quickly realized that I was not the right person to start this business. So I gave up on it, but it was really sad to leave the share idea behind. I just sort of couldn't stop thinking about it. And so I decided at that time to start a clothing resale shop because I love clothes, I love retail, and I thought that it was something that I could actually do. And then in doing research for the clothing business, because I'd never worked in resale, so I didn't really know anything about it. So I started doing industry research, and that's when I saw how much clothing is wasted. And I think it was the statistic that said, and I don't even know if it was a real statistic, but it said something like, we only wear 20% of our closet. And I was like, I do that. All my girlfriends do that. The whole world is doing that. That's so much waste that could instead be consolidated and we could share. And that's the moment that the idea was born. And I just could not stop once I had the idea. I was so obsessed. Wow. Which I think you really need as an entrepreneur. You have to, especially when hard times come. I feel like it's just been hard times, not since the beginning, but really close to the beginning, all the way till today.
Yeah, and that little thing called COVID definitely played a role in that.
For sure.
Wow. Well, 20% of your closet so it's 20% that you use within your closet, like on a regular basis.
80% waste. You're never going to wear it again.
That's crazy. I can't even, I can believe it, but like, that's a surprising stat. I don't know. That's crazy.
Yeah.
Wow.
And we throw away so much as well. Like the amount that we're consuming is exponentially higher than we did in, like, say, 1999.
Wow. So it's trending in the wrong direction. And hopefully people like you and other businesses that have with that mindset will help us get in the right direction.
For sure.
Okay. So you opened your first store in Tampa, correct?
Correct.
And when was that?
We opened it in 2017.
Okay. And where is
So
that located in Tampa?
in Tampa, it's in Seminole Heights.
Okay, cool. Yeah, that's a great neighborhood. That's been growing
Yeah.
so much.
I luckily I've lived in Seminole Heights since 2007, and I knew that the neighborhood were the right mindset for sharing business, especially the business is the first and only of its kind. There aren't any other businesses like it. Um, so I knew that I needed to make sure that I had the right customers for the business, and I knew that community minded customers were what I needed, and I knew that those were my neighbors. And I've lived in lots of places in heavy civil construction. You move around a lot, and I've never seen a neighborhood like Seminole Heights neighborhood. Um, and I just knew that that was the right place to start.
Yeah.
Which is funny because everyone that I told about the business was like, "You're going to go to South Tampa," and I was like, "No,
No.
no." I think that resale is great in South Tampa, but just not. And not that they don't need a clothing membership. I think everywhere needs a clothing membership, but to get started, I really needed the community support that I would
Yeah.
find in Seminole Heights.
Yeah. Well, and I like the fact that I mean, it's a physical store, which I feel
Mm-hmm.
like, there's lots of clothing membership like companies that are online, like an online based
Yeah.
thing. And this is nice because it's a physical store that you can go in, try on stuff. And then to your point of just like it's a community. So you're connecting with people. You're obviously building relationships with your members. So
Mm-hmm.
it's all around, it's a great concept.
Thank you.
So what was the thought process and timeline to open a second store in St. Pete?
Honestly, I had always wanted to open a second store since I would say since day one. I knew that I wanted Valhalla to take over the world. I want Valhalla in every single city. But I don't want to take venture capital, which is something that's really important to me to grow the right ways.
Mm-hmm.
With venture capital, they typically prefer to move fast, to move with profit in mind only, and
Mm-hmm.
that's not what Valhalla is about. We eventually, yes, I would like to be profitable and be able to share those profits with our members and our customers, and to be a fair and equitable business. And I don't think that the values with Valhalla and the values with venture capital align. So
Yeah.
I'm not moving as fast as I would like.
Yeah.
Um, so my plan was to, right before COVID, I was starting to put together a plan in order to be able to move into St. Pete. I thought I would be a great synergy to be able to have two locations really sort of close to each other so that the marketing dollars could spread a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
And then COVID happened the month that I was really about to start spending money. I had
Of
all
course.
my ducks in a row. I had all my research. I knew exactly what I was going to do. And right before I hired a lawyer, I hadn't started doing the research. I did a little bit of research on who I was going to choose. Um, that's when COVID hit, and those plans went in the trash, not to be thought of or really like harped on because I was feeling really like my dreams were crumbling. I was
Yep.
trying really hard not to think about it, but
Mm-hmm.
once we got out of COVID and vaccines started to become a little bit more available, we started to see a rebound in customers. Our members really stuck around throughout the whole bit of COVID.
Which is
Our
amazing.
retention actually went up. We just weren't seeing new members coming in.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but yeah, once COVID started like really starting to be less of a external pressure, I was like, okay, now's the time. And it just happened that one of our old members that lived in St. Pete that's really hooked into the community in St. Pete knew about an opportunity for a space that was coming on the market for the neighborhood near Kenwood, which is where I wanted the new store to
Mm-hmm.
be because I thought they also were really community minded community. And it was on Central, which I wasn't that excited about. Not because Grand Central District isn't amazing, because it is. I love Grand Central District. I wish I lived right on that street, but the parking isn't a good fit for membership. I need members to be able to come freely without having to worry about parking really regularly. And I didn't want parking to be a barrier.
Mm-hmm.
So when I showed up at the space, I saw that the parking was part of the building. The city doesn't own our parking. And that was really the selling point for me. I was like, okay, this is exactly where I want to be. Perfect location. It had a lot of renovations I needed to do, more than I wanted, but it all worked out.
Yeah. Well, I do think, I mean, I think St. Pete is a great fit for your business model.
Yeah.
Definitely lots of people here that care about the same stuff that you care about. So I
I
think
agree. Yeah. We've seen a lot of people who are either minimalists or really excited about fashion, or like all the things that check our boxes. We see a lot of people like super excited that they're able to participate.
Yeah. So do you ever like how do you approach marketing when you have two stores, in two locations across the bay from each other?
Yeah. So for marketing, I wouldn't say that marketing is my skill. I think my skills are in other places. But I try to make sure that we're always focused on membership. While half of our business is membership and half is sales, I feel like our core business is membership. So we really try to focus on highlighting the membership, and if sales come along with it, that's a happy surprise. But we really focus on the membership, number one. And then I would say Instagram is our number one sales tool.
Okay.
We're very lucky that our business products are so enjoyable to look at.
Yes, you can make
So
lots
it's
of fun
easy.
pictures, I see.
Yeah, so it's easy for us to just post up a couple styled outfits a day. And it's not just marketing, it's really fun for our customers. We have some customers that are members that have alerts on their phone, so they know exactly when we're posting, so they can see all the new things.
Cool. Do you have is it set up to where if someone was a member of one store, they could go to the other one, or is it separated?
Right now it's separated. I haven't seen a lot of interest of people really wanting to have a membership at both, because it is quite a distance.
Yeah.
I think that a lot of members might think that they want it, but in actuality, I don't know if they would really want to utilize both stores all the time. We might add something later on down the line, but right now I don't think it's going to keep being separate.
Okay. Well, go into a little bit more detail about the, sustainability, sustainability practices in fashion, and just kind of like, if you could just kind of dive into some of the research that you've done and learned.
Yeah. So clothing is one of the worst things for the environment. That we are consuming more clothing than ever before. And I think even with COVID and the back economic times that we're in right now has made it even worse. So companies like Shein are really benefiting from people wanting to spend even less on their clothes, but still having the social pressure of wanting to wear something different every single day. And with our business, we're able to satisfy that need, that social pressure of being able to wear something different every single day. And I don't think that that's a bad thing. I don't think that it's bad that we feel that way. I think I really enjoy being able to wear something different every day.
Yeah.
I like that variety. And I always have. Like when I was a child, I probably changed my outfit 4 or 5 times a day. It really, really bugged my mother. But there's nothing wrong with that, and we satisfy that need, but we aren't producing a single thing. Every single item in our inventory comes from our communities. People bring their items to sell to us. We do store credit for anything we're able to take. So our business model is not only share, because our members are sharing their clothes amongst themselves, but it's also part of the circular economy, because we don't produce a single thing. Every single thing comes from our customers, and then those items get circulated throughout our membership. And the key tenet to a circular economy is that nothing is wasted.
Mm-hmm.
And so we try to make sure that it gets used as often as it can. When it needs to be repaired, we take care of that. If it needs stain removal, we take care of that. And then it goes on to its end user once we feel like all the members have seen and worn it as much as we think it will.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Are you like, have you had to do anything with like clothing donations, to kind of, like an outside donation to kind of move through some product?
Yeah. So typically, most of our donations, I would say 95% to 99% of our donations are our donations from our customers straight to the donation center. So things that we don't think are a perfect fit for the store.
Okay.
So they go straight to the donation center, and we picked out of the closet for a donation center. They're in St. Pete.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'm familiar.
And we love them, and they're able to pick up, which is really important for us because we have a lot,
Yeah.
a lot of donations. And then what we aren't able to repair that are just like completely unrepairable,
Mm-hmm.
we donate that. So like shoes that have busted apart, typically those actually get thrown away, but like clothing that's ripped and can't be repaired, or it's a very small amount that we have to divert.
Yeah. So your members come in and they talk a little bit about that membership structure and like what those options are. And then also, you had mentioned, so you can just go in there and shop like a regular shop and purchase, correct?
Yeah.
Yeah. So talk a little bit about all those options.
Yeah, so membership lets you rent clothes. The basic membership lets you rent 3 items at a time. So you rent your first 3 items, you wear them, you bring them back, we do the laundry, and then you pick 3 more. So the basic membership is 3, and you just exchange them as often as you like. So you can come in every single day if you like. And then our other tiers are, if you want to add 2 items at a time, it's $10 a month. So it's really, really affordable to add on to your membership. And then if you want to rent accessories, which we include accessories as everything except for shoes, it's $5 a month. And that gets you like 1 extra item. So you'd have 3 items of clothing and an accessory.
Cool.
Yeah. So it's really, really affordable to add on. Honestly, I think 3 at a time, our basic membership is way too low. I really don't know how anyone could survive on 3. I usually keep out about 10 or 15 items, depending on what we have in the store. But before I started, I sent out a survey asking potential customers like what they might enjoy as a membership, 3, 5, or 7, and it was like 99% said 3. I was like, okay, I got to work everything around that because I really didn't expect that. But that's why you send out surveys. You ask what people want, and I know that I'm usually not the like ideal customer for most things.
Yeah. So do you find that people come in and shop and then they get intrigued by the idea and then become members?
Yeah. So our membership comes in 3 different ways. Typically, they come in, they are just intending to shop. We tell them about the membership and their minds are blown and they're like, oh my God, I got to have this. And they sign up right on the spot.
Yeah.
And then some members, they come because all of their girlfriends have memberships and they're like,
they feel like they're missing out.
Yes. It's like every friend they have becomes members and they've got to do it too. And then our third way is people find us like on Google or on Instagram, and they know that we have a styling session that we offer for free for new members, and they sign up for the styling session so that they get styled. That's free for new members.
Okay.
So those are our 3 main ways.
Yeah. So talk about the styling session. And is that something that you offer? Like someone could purchase a standalone styling session with you?
No, we don't do standalone styling sessions because the purpose of the styling session for us is, honestly, we don't do anything for marketing that isn't focused straight on the membership,
Mm-hmm.
honestly. But the main purpose of the styling session for us is to get to know our new member and really like dive into what they like in fashion. And we notice a lot of times, no matter how old a woman is, young, middle-aged, older, it's really a difficult task of really understanding your style and what you like. And we sort of take those styling sessions as an opportunity to sort of help you find your style, not our
Mm-hmm.
style, but your style. Um, and they're really, I wouldn't say they're intense, but they are a lot of work. And I'm
Yeah.
not that excited to do it for anyone but a member.
Yeah. Yeah. No, anything
We
like that.
love doing them. They're so fun. But the intention is to build relationships and
Mm-hmm.
really understand it. I don't want to go through all of that trouble and then you not have a way to continue that exploration. Because I honestly don't think one styling session can really help someone get there all the way. It can help you make a baby step, but you really need the additional sessions, which with membership, it sort of becomes a styling session all the time when you
Yeah.
come in.
Yeah. Because you, from my understanding, puts clothes aside for members when you feel like it's a good fit based on like their
Mhm.
style profile and stuff like that,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah. So with membership, it's really makes the whole business really different than most. I get to see my members all the time. They come in constantly. So I really, really get to know them and I get to know their style. And I know what they like. I help them find their style. So when we find things that we really think that they'll enjoy, we'll put them aside so that
Mhm.
they can get to them first before they go out on the shelf. So that's part of the circular part of the business where we make sure that each item is worn by our members as much as they can be before they find their final home.
Mhm. And do you have like besides that, do you have anything like set aside for members to shop exclusively versus people who just walk in the store?
Yeah, so we to help ourselves stay organized and sort of maximize our creativity because I feel like with fashion you have to be creative
Hmm.
and creativeness doesn't just happen because someone says, "Oh, I need something," and you're on. I tend to find my creativity works best in the morning. So what I'll do to benefit from my creative spike in the morning is I'll put together outfits then when I'm feeling really creative, maybe with somebody in mind, maybe just, you know, this goes well with this sort of concept. And then I'll pre-select some outfits, put some accessories together, and we'll hold them off in the back so that customers don't feel like they're missing out. And
Yeah.
then when members come in, we sort of shop from that selection that we've already have. So when they come in, they can try something new.
Yeah. Yeah, it's really cool. I mean, it's like curated experience, which I mean, people love that. People love to feel special and being
Yeah.
part of a membership. You're part of a club, the exclusivity of it. It
Yeah.
definitely, people love that kind of stuff. So it's a great
Yeah.
business model.
And that section isn't something that if you're a size small and you're a member, you could go back there and just pull the whole rack. It's still not everyone's style. So we then have to go through and pick for each member their body shape and their style and their preferred colors and things like that. And we'll push boundaries too. One of my old employees. She was a customer and then she was a member and then she was an employee. She was telling me the story that I had no recollection of. She said that when she signed up for a membership, she wrote on her style profile that she hates yellow. And she said her second time in the store, when she was doing her first exchange, that I came out with something really bright yellow. And she's like, "Well, I know you hate yellow, but I want you to try this yellow." And she said she really, really loved that actual item that I had picked out, and she would never have picked it out for herself.
Yep.
So we do like to push boundaries. We will not make you wear something that you don't want to wear, but we do like for our members to sort of get out of their comfort zone a little bit. And that's sort of one of the fun things about the membership is you don't have to love it forever. You just have to love it for one day, and then someone else can love it the next day.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I think I've always found that there's definitely stuff that you see hanging up that you're like, but then when you put it on, it's completely different. So it sometimes takes like that outside person to be like, hey, I think this would look cute on you. You need to try it,
Yes, for sure. And we have a little bit of an advantage too, because we get to see the items on our members. So we sort of know, because with experience of each individual item, sort of how it fits and how it lays. Is it better for a taller person? Is it better for a shorter person? Those sorts of things. We have a little bit more knowledge than if it was just a regular shop and I've never seen this item on anybody.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure. And that's the other thing. That's the advantage of it being a store. Cause again, it's online. It makes it a challenge to who knows how it fits, and looking at photos is not quite the same. So I
for sure.
Yeah.
I a lot of times I hear that I should be online, and that's something I really don't agree with. While I'm excited that online ones exist, I think their business models are really great, and I hope more show up to normalize renting clothing. But being inside a store and doing shopping in person with a real personal stylist that knows you and gets to know your personality, your story, your trials, your fun, your everything, is incredibly important. I don't want to give that up. I think it's sort of what makes us really special.
Yeah, absolutely. So I got to ask, what's your style? Like what do you lean towards?
That's a really hard question. I really like variety. I would say variety over other things. I have certain styles of dresses I don't wear because they don't flatter my body shape. But I would say I'll wear pretty much anything. I love to play with style and fashion and
so an eclectic
style. I wouldn't say like boho exclusively or classic exclusively or really anything. I just really love everything. If I had to like name one thing that I gravitate to always or often, it's probably a little bit punk.
Okay. I can see that.
No, thanks.
So what's your favorite thing about having this business?
The people, number 1 and 10, 1 through 10, the people. I love our members so much. I feel so lucky that we have such amazing members. I think that the store really attracts members that are really amazing people who believe in community, believe in the environment, believe in other women. It's just, I get to see them all the time. I like know all their stories. It's one of the things that really got me through COVID too, because I was in a really unique position where the whole world was living without community. They don't get to see their friends all the time, where I was in a situation where I do get to see my friends all the time. They're maybe just the friends I see exclusively at the store, but I was getting my social needs met, which are, I think, typically higher than most. Not with insubstantial one-off social interactions, which I think most retail is. You see a customer, you might see them 5 times in a year, but that's not enough to build a relationship. I see my members on average about once a week. So it's a real relationship. So that is by far and away the best part of my job.
That's cool. I love that.
Yeah. Give me 1 second. My charger, I've been trying to find where it went so I could, there it is. When I moved I have no idea how it got there. When I moved, it got dislodged. Okay, sorry.
Yeah, no worries.
It was about to die.
Yeah, no, we don't. Zoom, that would not be interview over.
Yeah. I even checked it before we went on. I was like, make sure it's plugged in. And I
Yeah.
did, and then I moved it, and somehow it got lodged under my monitor. I don't know how that happened.
Yeah, no worries.
Okay.
All right, cool. So, all right, so tell me what's your why? Like what gets you out of bed in the morning? What, you may
Yeah, so I would say my why is being able to really make a environmental impact with what we're doing.
Mhm.
Um, as a individual person, there's only so much I can do by myself in my home to make an environmental impact and even social impact. Like
Mhm.
the social injustices that go on in manufacturing have really been there since the Industrial Revolution, and they have never gone away.
Mhm.
They're probably never going to go away. And if I can make an impact with a business which impacts so many people, it's a much more satisfying.
Yeah.
um
The trickle,
yeah, I'm
ripple
not just
effect.
helping reduce my carbon footprint, I'm helping so many other women reduce their carbon footprint, and that to me is really, really special, and it's one of the things that keeps me going. I think it was the second week into COVID, so like the end of March or beginning of April. I remember telling my boyfriend, like, this is so hard and depressing, and if it wasn't for my intense belief that this can really change the world, I would give up and say that was
Yeah.
a really expensive waste of money.
Yeah.
But I that was the only thing that kept me going through it. I'm
Yeah.
really glad that I did.
But that's, you said it earlier. I mean, any entrepreneur, you're not going to survive in business if you don't have a passion for what you're doing, because
Hmm.
there's always going to be ups and downs. I mean, that's just inevitable. Life, it's
Yes.
life.
Yes.
So when you have that, I've heard it called a North Star, when you have that North Star, your why,
Hmm.
um, it just keeps you laser focused, helps you get out of bed on the days you don't want
Yes.
to.
Yes. I think that if you are thinking about starting a business and you don't have crazy passion about it, you're not telling every single person you meet on the street about it.
Yeah.
You maybe should think twice about it.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. That's definitely how I feel. And
Mhm.
I feel the same way with my why. It's that guiding light and keeps me going. So
Mhm.
absolutely. Yeah.
Yeah.
So how have you seen your business grow, like from in 2022? Now we're in 2023. How have you seen the
Mhm.
business grow?
From just this year?
Yeah.
It's been a little bit slower than I was expecting for St. Pete. Because we are in the Grand Central District, I
Mhm.
expected there to be a lot of walkthrough traffic, but we're sort of on the tail end of the Grand Central District, so we don't see a whole lot of people walking
Yeah.
by.
I
We're
think
at
that will
30th.
change because
Yes, it
there's
will change, and I'm really excited to see that change.
yeah.
Um, but we're slowly like getting member referrals, and it's really starting to pick up. So I'm excited
Yeah.
um, for this year. I think it's going to be a really great one.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
So, what's some vision for the future, like long-term goals and dreams that
Um,
you have?
yeah, long term, a third, fourth, fifth store. I'm thinking once we get St. Pete starting to really like jive and we have a sustainable amount of members, then we'll start working on the third location, which I'm hoping will be in Atlanta.
Oh,
I think
okay.
they're a
Cool.
really great market for something like this.
That's cool. So,
Yeah.
if that were the case, I mean, is that something to where you would look to hire someone to kind of get that off the ground for you? Or
I would probably travel to Atlanta and get the build out sort of done and established and get the culture right, and then have someone manage it. Just like I have someone manage this Tampa store
yeah,
and the St. Pete store eventually.
yeah, cool.
Yeah,
That's
I think that I'm lucky that our culture doesn't just come from me; it comes from our other employees and it comes from
mhm.
our members too. Our members are really like great champions for us.
Yeah.
And they're good cheerleaders too. I had a member, it was the Christmas before COVID, and she wrote a really sweet note. And I don't think it would be a sweet note to anyone else, but it was the sweetest note to me. It said, if you ever need to close Valhalla, this was her Christmas note. It said, if
Yeah.
you ever need to close Valhalla, I need 1 year's notice. It didn't say anything else. And I was like, that is
Aw.
the sweetest.
Yeah.
And me too. I need 2 years notice probably.
Yes. Well, that's just not going to happen. So we don't have to worry about that.
Yeah.
Well, I hope that you get to open more stores in the future because it's a great model and definitely could see it working well in other markets like Atlanta. That's a cool idea. I like that.
Yeah, thanks.
Yeah. So, what's a typical day look like for you?
A lot of laundry, which I think is something if you just came into the store, you wouldn't say, oh my God, I bet they do a whole lot of laundry. But every single item in the store, when we buy it, gets washed. And then every single item, when it gets returned from a member, gets washed again. So laundry is a huge part of our operations. So I usually start off with laundry, do some styling, and then just like meeting with customers and talking and having a really good time. I'm so lucky that not everybody loves retail, but I naturally love retail and I love our customers and love talking to them.
Yeah. So makes it a fun day when you're getting to
Yes.
do the things that you love all day.
Mm-hmm. And honestly, I don't mind doing laundry at the store. We have a great setup. Laundry at home doesn't give me the same feeling. So
Well, yeah, you're achieving a different purpose by doing
yes,
laundry at your store than at your house. So that
yes,
makes
for
it.
sure.
All right. Well, I have some what I like to call hot seat questions to try to get some of your favorite spots around town.
Oh
So,
yeah.
all right. So, when you have a night out on the town, what's
Mm-hmm.
your favorite place to go?
I really love Cocktail and the Wet Spot, which
Yep.
are our business neighbors down the street. That's such a fun spot. I really love going there.
Yeah. All right. What's your favorite pizza place?
Probably Cappy's right down the street. It's even closer to us. Uh, I don't know what street it's on, but it's really close to the Valhalla and St. Pete. Their pizza is amazing.
Yes, I get Cappies a lot.
Yeah.
I'm gluten free, and they don't have gluten free crust unless that's
Yeah.
changed in recent time. So I
They have
can't.
a good salad too.
Yeah. So yeah, I've heard lots of people love Cappies. So
Yeah.
all right. So when you do get a day off, how do you like to spend the day?
So recently, I started picking up my niece and nephew on Mondays. I asked my sister if I could help facilitate them learn Tagalog because my nephew has really expressed a desire, probably for the last year and a half, to learn the language.
Hmm.
And last year, I was going to get it for him for Christmas, and his mom said, no, he needs to learn Spanish first. And I said, okay. And then no Spanish was learned. So the next year, I was like, I don't care what you have to say. I'm buying Tagalog learning sessions for him. So my niece didn't really care what she learned, so I convinced her to learn it too, so that they could speak together. They'll be the only two in their immediate family that would speak it. So I was like, you guys could keep secrets from mom if you both learn Tagalog together.
Yeah.
So I picked them up on Mondays, which is my only day off, and then they do a learning session. And I've recently turned them on to Fraggle Rock. So after
nice.
Tagalog, they get a little Fraggle Rock,
That's
and then
awesome.
they go and do swimming with mom, and they're really big into swimming competitions.
Cool. That's fun. Sounds like a fun day.
Mm-hmm.
So what made you
They're
pick
really
that?
wild and crazy.
Yeah, as most kids are.
Yeah, they've got a lot of energy.
What made you pick that language for them to learn?
Their dad is half Filipino,
Okay.
and it's funny. Darwin, my nephew, he's always known he was a quarter Filipino. We go to Filipino festivals every single year. They've met their grandmother. They know that they're Filipino. But last year, during geography class, he realized that he was Asian American, and that was like at a moment for him. So he came home and he was like, "Mom, did you know I'm Asian American?"
You
And she
know.
was like, "Yes." So
Yes, I knew.
since then, he's been really on like celebrating his Asian heritage.
That's cool. I
Yeah.
like that. Very cool. Well, thank you for spending the time with me and our listeners today. I mean, I love your passion for sustainability and what you called the share economy, the circle, economy. I think that's just amazing. And, not enough people pay attention to that stuff. So
Yeah.
hopefully you are spreading, well, I know you are spreading awareness for that. So,
Thanks. I appreciate it.
yeah. All right. So, as promised, now that we're at the end of our conversation, we do have a giveaway. So, everybody, what you're going to have to do is you're going to have to either screenshot, listening to the podcast, or just reshare the reel on Instagram when I post this. So share that to your story and make sure you tag both of us. And then you'll be entered a chance to win the giveaway, which I will pick a winner in 5 days, just at random. All right, Danielle. So what is the giveaway for everybody?
So the giveaway will be 3 months of membership for whoever wins.
That's awesome.
And
Okay.
the winner can also book the styling session on our website.
Okay. All right. I love that. That is amazing. So everybody make sure you enter because that's fabulous. Thank you for being generous with that
Yeah.
lovely gift. So, all right. Cool. Well, thank you again. This was a great conversation, and I hope everyone visits, the St. Pete or the Tampa store. If you live in Tampa, go check it out. Sign up for membership. I did. It's
Yay.
awesome. So, yeah. Thank you so much, Danielle, for your time,
Oh
and
yeah, my pleasure.
hopefully more people know about you and will come shop with you. So,
Yeah, I'd love that.
all right, awesome. Thanks, everybody. Have a good day.
Yeah.
Bye.
Bye.